Hey everybody, how you doing today? I hope it's a great day. We're going to dig into some really helpful information. If you happen to be looking for high-level sponsors, you're in the right place because we're going to be covering that and so much more today. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Liz Marasco. I happen to own an agency in Michigan that is focused on events, marketing, public communication, bringing people together to do extraordinary things. And I've had a chance to participate in bringing in my own high-level sponsors and also helping my clients attract high-level sponsors. So if you are a beautiful business mind and you want to know more about that, drop a "I want to know" down in the comments and let me know that you're interested in learning a little bit more, because today we are going to dig into some information that can actually help you pivot your business, your nonprofit, your agency in extraordinary ways by aligning with the right people. So for my background, I happen to have produced a lot of events for major nonprofits, Fortune 500 companies, even startup companies that are looking to connect in a bigger way. And there are distinct differences between having an ordinary project and something that's extraordinary that people that have money to invest want to get behind. But you have to know some of the fundamental things to be able to get there. Now, if you have ever produced an event or a project where you have tried to pull in sponsors, let me know in the comments if you've tried to do that. So to give you a little bit of a background, through my agency, we publish a magazine called Kudos, and we've been able to attract sponsors as high as investments of $100,000 for a 38-page publication. But there were a lot of things that went in there to create that opportunity for my agency. And I'm going to share some of these with you today. So I'm super excited. So if you are ready to dig in, let's go have a little bit of fun and create some magic today with some knowledge, because knowledge becomes one of the fundamental things in being able to shift your business or a nonprofit into the new way that things are going. So if you haven't ever checked out our website, I want to encourage you to go over to elizabethmarasco.com/resources. You will find all sorts of helpful tools that can help you with your digital marketing and your event planning. So make sure that you go check that out. There's also an option for you to sign up to be on our email list so you get notified when we have special events, trainings, promotions, and all that good jazz. I'd love to stay in touch with you outside of just meeting here once in a while online. So drop me a hello. Let me know where you are tuning in from. And for me, I happen to be in the beautiful state of Michigan, and it's raining outside today. But that means that it's just going to make things a little bit more beautiful here, and I'm good with that. I am totally good with that. So a couple things that I have learned over time is being able to be in the right place at the right time is super key. Oops, wrong slide. Let's see if we can find the right little scene here. So what did we do here? I think I lost my little screen that I want to share with you guys. Bear with me one second as I round it up, and we'll get through this. But anyhow, one of the things that's key is to be able to be in the son of a gun malarkey. Okay, let me try this again. One of the key things of being able to connect with the right sponsors is being in the right place at the right time. And that can start with you starting to go to places where those key sponsors may be hanging out. It may sound more complicated than it is. You just kind of have to put on your thinking cap and think of, where do certain people go and hang out? There's differences in the way that each of us live our lifestyle. So you need to know who are your target customers or sponsors, or as they say in a lot of the marketing planning trainings, who's your avatar? The same thing with your sponsor, like looking at a corporate umbrella. Who are sponsors? That would be corporations or different entities. It could even be nonprofits that fund grants. Who are sponsors that would be a good fit for your project and your message? And where are those people most likely going? Many years ago, my husband said to me, Elizabeth, most business deals go down on the golf course more than a conference room. And as I got older, I actually realized really what he meant. It's where people are gathering in social situations for something that they enjoy, something that brings them together. So you being able to understand that is key. It may be a golf course, but it may be other things, including one of my favorite places, being able to connect with high quality, loving, passionate people, are with nonprofits that I happen to believe in. Now, I want you to consider stepping back and looking at different nonprofits. Who are the people that are sitting on committees? Who are the people that are sitting on the executive board of those committees? And I'm not talking about your friend who started a nonprofit for the greater good of, maybe, a local puppy thing, but those can be good too. I'm talking about maybe bigger groups that are coming together for a big purpose. And sometimes you may want to avoid the political arena for your business unless you happen to be tied into that, and more focus on something that is exciting. It could be, like going back to pets. We have an awesome organization here in Genesee County called Adopt a Pet. I love that group. I've met a lot of wonderful, kind, loving people, and you would be surprised how many business people end up getting tied into nonprofits like that. Another one could be your United Way, or your local children's hospital, or your local gallery. Do you have some higher education groups in your community that have nonprofits tied to it? How can you get in there and give? Now, I'm not saying do not go in there and go in for the ask. This is a place for you to be able to cultivate relationships and people to be able to personally get to know who you are, who your business is, and start to open up these doors. This isn't about dropping the bomb of going in, joining a nonprofit, and then saying to people, give me a donation. No. It's poor etiquette. It's about cultivating these relationships, getting to know their needs, getting to understand what other people are going through. And that leads me to my next point, which is probably one of the most important points that most businesses and nonprofits that are looking for sponsors neglect. And part of it is because we've gone into autopilot, expecting that we throw out a quick brochure asking for a sponsorship, gold, silver, platinum, get fancy with the name a little bit. But we're moving into this day and age where it's detrimental to be able to understand what are the needs of those sponsors. What obstacles are they facing? What's the climate of the economy that's going on with them? And that could be in terms of like finances that are rolling in, recession, short of staff, things like that. Understanding what are their obstacles? What are their goals? What are they trying to do? And this is why it's important at the very beginning to understand who it is that you're trying to attract to be able to connect with that sponsorship. But as you start to understand what are their needs, what are their obstacles, there's ways that you can formulate custom sponsorship packages that will help your potential sponsor get on board and get excited about it, and at the same time help you connect with the sponsorship for your needs of what you're trying to focus on. Too often, many businesses and organizations will focus on me, me, me. Do you remember that old country song? Want to talk about me, want to talk about I, me, oh my, or whatever it was. Me, me, me. Doesn't work. You want to know about them. You need to open up your mind and your heart to understanding their perspective of what they're coming from. So for instance, like what could that mean? It could mean in your sponsorship package of, instead of just going standard silver, gold, platinum, looking at, it could be like a package deal that ties into headliner for all marketing promotion. And those people are getting tied into maybe all of your media that you're pushing out there, your email letters, your banners, your so much. There's so much that you could tie into positioning that sponsor in a way that's going to help them fill their needs. Another thing could even be like on some of the promotional video, putting on your thinking cap for a minute. Let's say that you have an upcoming event, you have different sponsors that are coming on. Yes, you can absolutely do the standard call card where you have a beautiful video, you have all your sponsor logos flashing. But what if you took on the approach a little bit differently? What if you did an individual video for each of your sponsors that highlighted them, all about them, their goodness, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and then the end tying into your event or project logo and their logo? That makes it where it's easy for those people to share into their content. It's not just a standard flash of your logo of your business or your project and then an afterthought of thanks to the sponsor. Empower your sponsors to be able to go out there and promote you, talk about you, and engage with their community in a unique way of how they're excited to be a part of what you're doing. It's all about taking the time to reduce their time, reduce their workload, instead of just saying, here's your package, send me this, and they've got to do 50 things. People may not have time for that. They may say, you want me to do that on top of making a donation of $10, $25, $50,000? These are real numbers that happen regularly when it comes to event marketing. And I can tell you, there's a variety of levels of different sponsors that you can get, from, a $500 simple sponsor, for valet at an event, to upwards 10,000 or more for a company to come in and pay for a table at a gala. And 10,000 sometimes is a low number. I've heard of numbers as high as $100,000 for one table. And of course, they bring in their staff or they give away tickets to the event to their clients. But to get to that, it brings me to point number 3. You ready? Point number 3. In order to attract high-level sponsors, you must, absolutely must, deliver high quality. Nothing less. No shortcuts. No cutting corners. Finding ways to save a couple bucks. It needs to be where that event caters to a different level of people. And this may be something that you're familiar with, maybe you're not, but it happens pretty regularly where there's different galas across the whole United States, except for when we hit that little bit of a shutdown. But when you get to this place of high quality, it attracts a different person. It attracts somebody that will pay $500 a ticket, $1,000 per ticket, $10,000 per ticket. And then oftentimes proceeds from these events will go to raise wonderful funds that benefit local communities. And additionally, it gives exposure to the sponsor, and it helps the nonprofit or the startup or the business that associated with that. But to get there, you cannot shortcut. And sometimes I have seen it where people will start to take shortcuts, try to save a little on the back end, and it bites them. It could be going from, a plated $1,000 dinner to you tried to serve them buffet. People aren't going to like it. It could go from you always had fine entertainment to now you scaled down to just a DJ. People that were familiar with one thing are not going to like that adjustment. So you always want to level up. Now, don't get me wrong. There's many different projects and events that can come at a level that's not as high and still be a high level sponsor. So things like golf outings or even like travel events where people are coming in and sponsoring these different activities. You can still do a call to bring in different sponsors, but you're not going to need a butler gloved dinner for a golf course. Two different things. So like a gala and a golf course, but there's still different high levels of how you can attract those people into what you're doing. And if you take the time and really invest into understanding what are the needs and desires and struggles that your sponsors are having, and how does that correlate to your effort, your project, your big thing that you're working on. And then start to build those bridges. And there's an excitement that happens when you walk into a black tie event. And then there's a gala with beautiful flowers, fresh flowers, and aroma and music. And it becomes a chance for those sponsors that have participated to be able to connect and network with their community to expand. So there's a lot of things that are going on in the background, and it's super important for you to be aware of it. Now, moving into a little bit of a different direction, because we kind of did focus a lot on sort of offline sponsors, even though those can tie into online opportunities through like your digital campaigns and stuff like that. There's other things that you can do that maybe aren't high level of bringing in a sponsor that's $25,000 or $100,000. It could be hosting an event, and let's say that you need to have media there. You need media coverage. You need to get people involved. One thing that I had done for a bridal show that I used to produce here in Michigan every year is I aligned with various media outlets, radio, TV, print. Specifically at the time, I really got into a lot of promotion with TV and with radio. And at that particular time, I was doing a Sunday segment on ABC 12, and we would talk about different lifestyle events, things like that. But one of the things I had done was a segment that was all on the bridal wedding industry. And each week I came in and I did my segment on the news, and we would cover different topics. So like floral gowns and, formal wear, tuxedo, flowers, decor, entertainment. And then through each of those, I brought in various vendors that could represent that specific niche. And the beautiful thing is it was great content for the ABC News segment. So every single time when I'd wrap up that segment, I would say, make sure that you join us on this date at this time for our bridal show. It created an incredible buzz. This was before we got to where we're at now with social media. The beautiful thing is all of a sudden now I have media out there, the news, TV, print, radio. I have them out sharing my message. And it was a win-win situation for them because I also allowed them to come to the bridal show, participate, have access to the list of guests that we had coming in, which is another powerful thing. If you participate in events like that, trade shows or whatever, make sure that you are gathering all of the names and content, or all the names and contact information for your attendees. So that win-win on that sponsorship in that particular case, it was a high level sponsorship, but it wasn't monetary. It was media, and it was powerful. In fact, the first bridal show I did, I gave away a wedding myself. I coordinated it along with probably 25 other businesses, and we all contributed to this wedding giveaway that was valued at $40,000. It was exciting for the news to be able to talk about that. It was exciting for the radio station to be buzzing about it. It was wedding season. That was their market. It was a win-win situation. So in that particular case, I didn't have to pay for media, like minimal amount, but that barter exchange of helping each other allowed us to both have, all of us, to have a win-win situation. And that's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Another one that I want to share with you really quick that you may not even be aware of, because we talked about monetary, we talked about barter or exchange, and the other one I want to talk to you about is volunteering or labor support. And for instance, Kohl's has an incredible program that they have their staff correlate with different nonprofits to come in, and they'll do different like labor tasks to help with an event to support. And I think the program's called Kohl's Cares. And it's amazing. Number one, it becomes a win-win situation for Kohl's to position themselves is a community supporter, endorser, and everything good. And at the same time, that support can also help a different nonprofit that's limited on funds and trying to raise everything for something specific that's so meaningful and important to a community. These can become win-win situations for everyone. I even know that local fraternities will do things to volunteer to help support nonprofits. So these are avenues for you to start thinking of when it comes to how do I attract high-level sponsors? How do I attract something where it's not, just quick, give me a $500 contribution? Why not start thinking bigger than that? But to be able to think bigger than that, two of the things that you have to do is be willing to go where those sponsors would be, right? Does that make sense to you? And also make sure that you are delivering something that is substantial. It's meaty. It's got beef to it. It's got innovation. It's got excitement that correlates with what that sponsor wants. And it's going to come up to you deciding if you want to settle for, it's okay, average level, or if you want to take it up to this phenomenal level of being able to deliver something that can actually change the hearts of individuals and reform communities in extraordinary ways. One of the greatest gifts I've ever had as an entrepreneur is being able to see and experience what it's like to be able to be a part of something bigger than myself, where I can take my work and help my community better. It shakes me to my core. And I think it's one of the things that is maybe it's partly my love language, but I think it's also part of my essence of how do I feel really good with my work? It's when I'm able to do things that help my business grow and provide for my family, simultaneous to being able to make my community better. So I hope that you did get something out of this little session that we had today on attracting high-level sponsors. And I was just seeing that I had my comments window closed, so let me say hello to some of you. Hello from Australia. It must be the middle of the night there, huh? So hopefully you guys are getting some beautiful weather. We're getting the green because it's raining, but it's beautiful. Well, hello to you. And I'm glad that you're at work, and hopefully maybe you can tell them, hey, I'm getting some knowledge to help us bring in some new funds for our business. It's all good. So remember, thinking bigger can take a little bit of an adjustment, but if you just use a little bit of common sense and think about where's your market at, how can you connect with them, how can you serve them, and you start to shift your hat from it's all about me and my business to it's about our community. And it's about how can I help my sponsors succeed. If you do that, you will literally leave all of the other proposals that come across that decision maker's desk. You will leave them standing there with dust on it because they're going to be obsessed with what it is that you're doing. So that's all I got for you today. I am wishing you so much success. If you happen to be interested in learning more and how to attract sponsors or take your next event online to the next level, leave me a comment below. Let's set up a free consultation. I can do a discovery call with you to better understand what are your needs, what's your vision, and maybe some different tactics that you can start applying in your business to make it happen now. All right. Well, I will be back again later this week. I'm going to be sharing more information on producing your own online event or maybe even your own signature show, whatever you want to call it, getting stuttered with words. But if that's something that you're interested in, also let me know. Send me information and then I'll reach out to the DMs and we'll get some incredible things going for you for 2022. We're almost halfway through it. Let's make some good stuff happen. All right, you guys. Woo! In the meantime, make it a great day. Be good. Be happy. And most definitely, most definitely. Be blessed. We'll see you guys.